The Trudeau government has made housing a key focus in Budget 2024. Those announcements have included billions for apartment construction, plans for more affordable housing, and additional investments to address homelessness. According to the Prime Minister, Ottawa's housing plan is expected to build nearly 4 million homes by 2031. And while those numbers are certainly welcomed by many during what can only be described as a housing crisis, there are some who are casting doubts on Ottawa's figures. One of those who are asking some tough questions is Kevin Vuong, Member of Parliament for Spadina-Fort York. And joining us now is Kevin Vuong. Kevin, thank you very much for being back with us.
Thanks for having me, David.
So the Prime Minister has said that their plan will build 4 million homes, nearly 4 million homes by 2031. But you have said that that is not possible. Can you walk us through why you don't think this is achievable?
Well, let's put it in perspective of the actual numbers and do the math. 2031 is less than 7 years away. So that means that the government would have to oversee not only over 23 houses built per day, but that's 197 houses per hour, or really, when you put it into perspective, you're building a house a minute, right? And that's under the assumption that you're actually looking at them working 24/7 every hour of every day, which we know is not the case. So if you adjust for weekends and holidays, and assume even a 60-hour work week, those numbers that I quoted earlier in terms of the per minute basis of a house a minute actually becomes a house every 20 seconds. And who doesn't want housing? We need it. Members of my community across the city of Toronto, across the country, we need housing. But when the Prime Minister puts out a figure like this, that is clearly impossible to achieve, he hurts Canadians' trust in government writ large. And it forces us to ask, like, is he unable to do math, or is he lying to us?
I mean, it certainly feels like the Trudeau government has realized that urgency, that housing is a major issue in Canada. But do you think they're acting too late here?
I mean, there obviously are. The fact that we have such a huge issue with housing supply, and they've let it get to this point under their watch, is an indictment of their leadership. They have failed to be able to not just address the issue, but also before it became the crisis that it is today, to be able to predict it. And so it's a failure of leadership, and they failed Canadians, and more importantly, they failed my generation of millennials and everyone younger who now cannot imagine a future where we can own a home.
And what do you make of those who call these announcements as convenient in the lead up to an election? Do you agree with that view?
I think we have to be honest about what this is. This is an election campaign. They are putting out lofty promises that if they lose, they don't have to worry about actually delivering. And if they do win, well, then it becomes a problem that they kick the can out, just like they have been for the last 9 years.
And on that urgency for housing, what can or should be done to help solve the problem? What is Ottawa missing?
So I think one of the first things that's important to point out is they fundamentally misunderstand the fact that it is first and foremost a housing supply issue. The fact that Budget 2024 even includes measures like increasing the amortization for a home from 25 to 30 years is a demand measure. It's actually yet something else that drives up potential demand for housing. They should be solely focused on what it is, which is a supply issue. And that is something that needs to be the first priority of this government. And then they go out and they throw out this lunacy around, oh, somehow we're going to come up with 4 million homes worth of supply. How? Tell me how. Where are you going to get the timber? Where are you going to get the labor? The fact that skilled trades workers are retiring, and now they're driving further an exodus of even more of them by increasing capital gains tax, despite the fact that it is often small business owner tradespeople who are some of the people who will be hurt the most by these measures. So when you net all this stuff out, not only is their promise impossible, they're actually making it harder to even make any progress towards having any form of real housing supply.
Kevin, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me, David. Everyone deserves to be able to have a home.